Today we're going to take a look at auto-generated and customized fields of the RadDataForm. RadDataForm is part of Telerik's RAD controls for Silverlight WPF control suite for .NET XAML development. In this video we will see how easy it is to change the field name being displayed, adding a description, or even changing properties based on field selection. We're also going to take a look at changing the default layout of the RadDataForm. Let's go ahead and jump into Visual Studio 2010 and get started. So here we are, we're back inside of Visual Studio 2010 and we're working with the same project we were working with in the first part of the series. Let's go ahead and we'll run the application. So we can see when we run the application we have a data form that's based on the objects that we defined in the first part of the series. So we have our employee and we have a first name, last name, occupation, and several other fields. So one of the things that I want to begin this video with is starting to customize the description of each of these names here. So once we do that, we will go ahead and underneath the salary here we will add a description that'll say something like, okay, this is the initial salary. So if the end user is using this and maybe they're not sure what this field is, we can give them a quick hint on what this field actually means. And then the last thing that we'll try is under the gender here, if they select female, then we will color the foreground purple. If they select male here, then we're going to set the foreground to a blue color. After that, we'll look at rearranging some of the data on the screen. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to come back to our main page.xaml and we're going to add an event handler for auto generating field. And once that's in place, we can actually come back to our main page.xaml.cs and double click on that and begin adding some code. So in order to manipulate the data, I'm going to need a variable that contains the current item. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to simply type var employee and we'll use this .dataform1.current item as employee. So for the first item, I'm going to paste in an if statement and we're going to be checking if the property name is equal to first name. Then let's just set the label to first name, but let's put a space in between it. For our second item, we're actually going to add a description for salary. So if we come back here and we check if the property name is equal to salary, then we just add a description. e.datafield.description equals this is the initial salary. And the last piece that I want to add in is actually checking which gender the user selected and changing the data field's foreground color accordingly. So I'm just going to paste in this and we'll see that we're going to check if the employee.gender equals female, then we're going to change the e.datafield foreground to purple, else we're going to change it to blue. Let's go ahead and try this. So we're going to go debug, start without debugging, and so right off of the bat we can see that our foreground color is set to this purple color because we're on a female. If we keep navigating through, we can see now we're on a male, and of course this is now highlighted in blue. The other thing that we changed was we added a space between first name, so we can see that that space has taken place here. And then the third item that we added was actually a description under salary. So if we hover over this question mark, we can see this is the initial salary. So this is the description field that we just added. So let's take a look at actually rearranging the data on the screen here. Let's just go ahead and add in a data template that our RadDataForm is going to use. So I'm going to paste in a code sample here and we're going to investigate it together. So the first thing you'll see is that we added grid.resources and then we added a data template that actually matched the key of my template. So we have a couple of column definitions and row definitions, but the thing that we're really the most interested in is down here at the bottom. We have Telerik DataForm data field with a label of first name. We have a data member binding of first name two-way. Remember, we created that a little bit earlier in our employee.cs file. And then we have another DataForm data field, which is set to the last name with the binding on last name. The third item that we have is a DataForm checkbox field. This has a label of married, and this is also binding on the isMarried property. So if we look now at our RadDataForm, we're not going to need the auto-generating field anymore. What we're going to need to do is to add a property here that says auto-generated fields is set to false, because we're going to define our own layout this time. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to add in several different templates. I can come back here, I can paste in these templates. So we have our read-only template, and then we have our edit template and our new item template. And the static resource for all of these is set to the my template that we just defined just a second ago. So if we run the application now, then we will see that no longer is the data actually stacked horizontally, but now it's in this custom data template that we just provided. And you may also note here that we didn't include all of the pieces that came with that employee class. We only selected 3 different pieces that we want to display. And of course, all of the functionality of adding, navigating, editing new items, or deleting is still added automatically for us. So thank you for watching, and please come back for the third part of the series where we're going to integrate the RadDataForm with RadGridView. Also tune in to tv.telerik.com for more videos, and check out blogs.telerik.com for the latest news and announcements.